Fighters from Ireland. Why not? Professional welterweight debut for both fighters. Haraldur Arnarson faces Paul Buckley, 35-year-old Arnarson, strength and conditioning coach as well as kickboxing coach from RVK. Of course, MMA Cork for Paul Buckley. This one brought to you by Fight Scouts. Arnarson in the blue, Buckley in the red. Andy Nichols is your third man in the cage. The crowd here, having traveled over from Iceland, are on their feet ringside at the Doncaster Dome in support of Arnarson. Which way will this one go? The stakes couldn't be higher.
Arnarson here utilizing the rear leg, twitching for the leg kick. Looking to gauge the distance here and the reaction of Buckley.
Arnarson backs off. A couple of kicks here. Buckley stalking, pressing forward with the footwork.
Feeling out process here in round one. It's often you see two athletes who respect the skill set of each other. Usually we see Buckley fire those combinations quick down the center. Look at that right hand, clean. He's gauging the distance, consolidating information. But the strength lies for Buckley, for me, in his combinations close range. Right now, trying to fill out the distance, trying to see the ins and outs.
Arnarson covering, swapping stances. Buckley, rear push kick. Lots of early tests here. Nothing too convincing from either fighter. Buckley throws a jab up the middle, Arnarson resets. Buckley flicking up the kick, could have gone question mark there, doesn't quite commit. Heavy leg kick there from Arnarson. That would seem to be a smart strategy against Buckley, is to cut down that movement and chop away at that lead leg.
Also to press forward as well. If you notice, Arnarson, after he fires something, he kind of resets. Watch his footwork there. You see that skip? That's when he needs to come in, and he did exactly that. That's when he's going to try and counter. As the reset happens, Buckley's got to come forward and take advantage of that space. Oh,
with hands?
Yeah, he's got awesome combinations. In particular, his 1-2 coupled with the left hook. Oh, stiff jab.
So Buckley's searching for a little bit of boxing input here.
Deep to the body here from Buckley. Goes again with the rear. Looking for the Superman punch.
Healthy respect being shown between Buckley and Arnarson. Not too many significant strikes being landed here.
Buckley trying to set up that tie hop though with the teeps. He's going front teep, rear teep. He's using the tie hop to set up the hands.
So if you're Buckley right now, are you trying to anticipate when's the time to throw, when Arnarson's going to kick?
Yeah, what he's doing here is keeping Arnarson away from him so he doesn't eat those heavy shots, and also he's setting up the high kick. He's going to the body with the teeps to set up the hands as well. When the hands come down to catch the teep, that's when he can come over the top with either the question mark kick or the combinations.
We did see shades of that question mark earlier. Well, the rhythm of this fight very even right now. Arnarson and Buckley continue to test each other in the center of the cage. There was a short connection there from Haraldur Arnarson. First time going up to 5 minutes. You were there, Dean, once upon a time. Tricky? Do you play it conservative because you are going up in time and it is your MMA debut at the pro ranks?
I think as a pro, like, there's much more that comes into it. You know, the consolidation of damage through the smaller gloves. There is a degree of conservation of energy, but you still have to put the pressure on. And it's more conservation when you can get that top position and force your opponent to wear that top position. And in the striking realm, it's making your opponent miss to try and sap the gas tank. So at this point, though, these two athletes are trying to implement their own game plan here. More so from Buckley, going to use the downstairs attacks to set up the upstairs attack.
Arnarson again chopping to that lead leg. He's found an opening there. Buckley again. Luke Rockhold style, flicking up that leg. Throws hard to the rear leg then of Arnarson, who swaps stances again. The switch hitting of Arnarson, I think, is also a nice little technique.
Buckley trying to land that left hook. Takes a back step, trying to draw Arnarson onto the jab.
Arnarson southpaw, throws in the left hand. Tries to find outside foot position. In the first 5 minutes, nearly in the rearview mirror of these two in their professional careers. This motto for Mr. Buckley. Touch of gloves, 5 more minutes on the clock. This, 2 of a scheduled 3, Arnarson in the blue, Buckley in the red. Ireland taking on Iceland. Arnarson resets. Orthodox here for Arnarson, who's been switch hitting since the beginning of this fight. Test with the leg kick, doesn't quite go. Patience here from Buckley, patience from Arnarson.
Arnarson finding it real difficult to get in here. You can see on the outside he's struggling to get the distance. The only success again goes back to the low kicks. But I'd like to see a level change from Arnarson as well. That's going to throw a facet of the game to Buckley to disengage him from throwing with power there, with that right hand especially.
Now let me ask an obvious question. When you see this strategy continue like this, it's probably safe to say both camps think they won the first round, right?
Yeah, it could be a case here of Arnarson just trying to find a way in. Oh, there's a nice up elbow there from Buckley. He's got to know that he's been on the outside. He's been on the receiving end in the first round at least for multiple teeps, some nice combinations. And Buckley's controlling the pace here. So he's either got to find a way, and if he can't find a way, and he's got to create it with a takedown, with angular motion, or combinations to get past the guard here of Buckley. Arnarson with a real low stance. Could be setting up the level change or even that overhand right. Oh, walks into a nice right hand, drops him. Buckley in the top position now, looking for the ground and pound.
Buckley with a big old connection has completely opened up this fight. Haraldur Arnarson has been floored here, and this could be the opening that Paul Buckley was looking for.
Buckley with the brutal elbows there, trying to get that elbow over the top of the guard. It's imperative here for Arnarson to control with the underhook and bring the posture down of Buckley. Every time Buckley can get up to the sky, he can get power in those punches.
Well, Buckley had displayed so much patience in this fight, and that was exactly the salvo he was looking to connect with. Arnarson in all kinds of trouble here is trying to implement the knee shield and create space. But if Buckley can flay his hips and get the pass, slide into crucifix, he has a lot of time in with which to work.
Becomes dangerous here now for Arnarson. Buckley already looking to tie the crucifix position, which will open up the right elbow from this position. Oh, that's nice work from Arnarson to get back to the half guard. But all defensive tactics here for Arnarson in this bottom side position. He could use the knee shield to create some space if he wants to get back to the feet. But if he wants to retain this guard position, got to use the unhook to get back to the full guard. It's going to be able to limit the damage that Buckley can do from that top position.
Patient progression has been, I think, the great strategy of Paul Buckley in this fight. He worked it on the feet, an opening presented itself. He's staying dominant here in this position. An opening, certainly with some time, could present itself. Forearm pressure here from Buckley. Can he clear the legs? Now, if you're Buckley, you're trying to pass nice and tight here, or are you just going to posture?
He's got to stack the legs if he wants to pass. If he's going to backstep, he's got to control the head and make sure he controls the underhook. He could also TP himself up to the sky and slice through the guard into side control or the full mount.
But do you ever just consider damage?
The problem with giving damage here, it gives the opponent on the bottom side position to improve his position. When you've seen that here already, Arnarson looking to hide up, but opens up the body shots. But the whole time Buckley is going to utilize that ground and pound. He's going to give Arnarson the opportunity to get a better position, the half guards, the full guards, maybe even get an underhook.
So Buckley looking to kind of keep this a pure grappling affair, at least to open up the pass. Buckley with short punches and elbows. Arnarson trying to find some moments here of respite. Shielding with that knee. Buckley staying busy here. And if there was any question about that last round, this one for sure has to be Paul Buckley.
Buckley with a nice short elbow there with the right. And a good job of consolidating and controlling the legs of Arnarson. Arnarson tries to get up, didn't get the underhook. Dominant topside control from Buckley though.
Several more to come. Third and final round here in cage steel, and it'll be an interesting test to see whether or not Arnarson is able to find what he's been looking for in that damaging kickboxing, or whether the patience and counter-striking of Paul Buckley. I think solid defense, right? He's not really thrown anything out the window on the defensive side at the cost of offense.
Buckley as well is using footwork. He'll step to the outside of the lead leg of his opponent. He resets and he looks for angles to come in, which then disallows Arnarson to utilize the counter. Well, another thing he's doing, he's coming straight through the guard. He tried to teep the face, missed the first instance. There's another right hand, exactly the same right hand that he dropped Arnarson, but he's trying to come through that guard because Arnarson kind of holds his hands up, and there's a nice definitive spot between that guard.
So finding openings is Paul Buckley. Haraldur Arnarson, supported by a very concerned crowd here to our right. As you said, Dean, they've flown over to support the team from RVK MMA, but it has been a damaging combination by Paul Buckley, who jumps into a flying knee, potentially sensing a finishing sequence, but again, just patient, backs off, right? Doesn't force anything. And I have to say, when you've got 10 amateur fights, that's the kind of maturity and experience you need before it goes up and the stakes go up into the pro ranks.
Well, he noticeably robbed Arnarson, looked for the flying knee, didn't get it, now backs off and sticks back to the game plan. Keeps long, uses combinations, uses long shots as well, like the jab and the teep, to keep Arnarson on the back foot.
Andy Nichols having a quick check there. Arnarson back in action. Chopping kick from Buckley. And that's the thing, right? Like, you go out, the lights are on, you're on the main card. A lot of people are going to be watching this fight. And he has done nothing but listen to his corner this entire time.
He stuck to the game plan beautifully, you know, and as of yet, he wants to avoid the shot, I would imagine. And he took the top position off a strike, a nice clean right hand straight down the pipe. Storms in, there it is, Chris, he's dropped him.
Big punches here from Paul Buckley. A perfect combination. Arnarson put on the back foot up to the cage, and that is the TKO finish.
Calm, collected and complacent in the back position. Buckley smelt blood, but backed off to wade into more favorable waters. First off, as he rocked him, he looked for the knee, but then stormed in and got up against the cage, and Arnarson had no exit.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 2 minutes and 13 seconds of round number 3, your winner by TKO in the right corner, Paul Buckley.